pertaining to the secret cycles of time, in reference to the quantum Kabbalah, pertains to many interesting features of the earth, one of which has perplexed mankind for a significant amount of our history, that being the pyramids in Giza. What I am about to reveal has never been revealed before in human history. In my forthcoming book, The Quantum Kabbalah and the Secret Cycles of Time, a final restoration of the Master Mason's word according to tarot and the Giza pyramid measures, I reveal the interconnection between the tarot cards, the attributions of the tarot cards, the Hebrew letters, and the significance of the numbers as they pertain to this secret cycle of time, which is an embedded form of human consciousness. When you follow this thought, you must first understand that we are dealing with complex subjects that have perplexed Egyptologists, scientists, archaeologists, and astronomers for many years. However, these secrets are known. There are members of the mystery schools who in fact know all of the secrets pertaining to the Great Pyramid, to Egypt, to our true history, and to the Kabbalah. For various reasons, they have chosen or refrained from revealing these secrets. On a personal level, I share their sentiment. And in fact, there is a significance in order to conceal these things. It is not necessarily deception. However, the time that we are in right now, the time that we are approaching in this secret cycle, will devastate humanity, will rock civilization, and the earth changes that are coming can be scientifically validated and are known by many secret organizations. It is my point to present this information to the public and to anyone who is interested, so that they may see for themselves the significance of the secret cycle, how it pertains to our existence, human consciousness, how it pertains to the elevation of the spirit and the godhood found in every man and woman. We have lost sight of our true nature. We have fallen from a state of superiority to an inferiority complex, embellished in flesh. Now, this is a chosen path for each one of us. And it is important that we stay grounded and see the things that are presently in front of us, for in any other way we will never understand these true secrets. Not everybody is a mathematician. Not everybody is inclined to even dig into these secrets, to truly understand them. However, it has been my goal and my aim from the very beginning, as a human being on the planet Earth, as a true initiate and adept in this knowledge, and a lover of humanity, and a lover of the experience of humanity, I have chosen to reveal these secrets for the express purpose of those seeking the truth, so that they may also be able to peer behind the veil of knowledge. It is one thing to make claims, as many authors do, and we have some great authors who have contributed much information to the study of the pyramids. However, not one of them has revealed the truth. What I will present here will be a general overview. There will be some information that deals specifically with my book. There will be some information in regards to the paragraphs. And you will need to be able to follow along this line of thought in order to understand its significance. So what I will do is I will present an outline, and I will show you the understanding that was used in the construction of the pyramids and how it pertains to this secret cycle of time. I will also share with you paragraphs, and I will read them to you at this particular point. But let me first start out by saying the contributors to Egyptology who have really put forth and advanced alternative views have greatly changed the mindset of the public and others to look at the pyramids in a different light. But I must first say, and let this be clear, the Egyptians did not build those pyramids. The Egyptians inherited the land of Egypt a long, long time ago from a different location on Earth prior to the last cataclysm, when the Earth suffered its geomagnetic polar shift for various reasons. To understand the pyramids, we must understand Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. We must understand the secret cycle of time. The secret cycle pertains specifically to the quantum code of consciousness in the development of the passage of specific planetary and stellar bodies. This implies a direct correlation between human consciousness, our awareness, our thought processes, our heart, the blood that goes through our veins, the neuronal transmissions, the neuronal fluid, the flux, the ebb and the flow of the spirit. We breathe. We breathe in the spirit. We are bathed in that spirit. We are one with that spirit. The molecules of air, all of these elements make up and comprise atom. That is Aleph, Daleth, Mem, 144. We must look at these things in the way that the ancient initiates and adepts put them for us to see and understand. We must no longer look at these things in the way that ex-Golden Dawn members and other occultists of the past deliberately mismatched words and letters, paths on the tree of life, tarot attributions with the astrological signs and the planetary rulers. We're all changed. And the true and correct order has never been presented in human history. And you may ask yourself and wonder, what, in any way, shape, or form, could the pyramids have to do with the Kabbalah? And yet I will tell you one great secret. The pyramids are Kabbalah. And let me tell you a secret of the cycle. It is referred to as Amesh, the secret cycle of time. Aleph, Mim, Shin. And that is the Pythagorean theorem. And let me explain to you the significance of that. Aleph is the division of unity by pi. It is the nuclear force. It represents the fallen nature of consciousness, the embodiment of the fall of the fool is a nuclear force. It is the central pillar of the temple and the central pillar of the tree of life. So the fool falls from Kether. The fool's image signifies Orion, and the dog is Sirius on one level, one plane of being. But that fall represents the line of the height, which is 3. It is the nuclear force. It is the ruler of consciousness. It is the development of each stage of the secret cycle of time. It is the Father, the Mother, and the Son, because it is the nucleus, the nuclear force, the primal point of the great division in all things is a creation that is specifically denoted by electromagnetism. Amesh, Aleph, Mem, and Shin. 3, 4, 5. The Pythagorean theorem. What is Mem? Mem is 4, 1, 4. What is 414? It is the double of 207. What is 207? Hour. Aleph Va Rosh. And hour is light. Hour is gold. Mem implies the double form of the concentrated energy of Kaya. And what is Kaya? Kaya is 23. The multiplication value of the nuclear force, the neuronal transmission of consciousness from the Godhead. It develops through a multiplication value. And that will be a grand secret to be revealed in the future. Now let us condense Mem. Mem is 40. Yod is 10. Mem is 40. 40, 10, 40, 90. Aleph is Aleph, Lamed, Pe, 1, 30, 80. Combined. 1, 1, 1. The beginning of the octave. Multiplying that value. 6 times 1, 1, 1 is 666. The cube of space, 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. The perfect cube. It is an understanding of electromagnetic dynamism. The development of human consciousness pertains to the fall of that fool in 111, 111. And then it creates the octave in 888 and is finalized by the volume of the cube in 999. 9 times 9 times 9, 729. What is 729? Yod, 164. He Va He, 565. 729. Combined. The perfect cube of space. 12 lines. 6 sides. 3 interior directions. The 22 letters. The geometrical circle of 22 divided by 7 equals pi. We have a construction of understanding that are based on geometrical, harmonic, and mathematical proportions and ratios that are very specific. They are incontrovertibly proven to be correct. Knowledge and truth are self-same. There is no subjectivity to the presentation of knowledge that I am giving to you in these videos. What I am presenting to you is the grand secret. Now, Mem is 90 degrees. Mem, Yod, Mem, 90. Take the unity, divide it by pi, 0.318. Unity is the height. The baseline at 90 degrees is Mem. 4, 3, 4. Now the hypotenuse value, and this will apply to the Great Pyramid, of course, and I will show that conclusively, is 5. Now Shin is Shin, Yod, Nun. Shin is 300. Yod is 10, of course. Nun is 50. 315. Combine them. 360 degrees. What is 360 degrees? It is the excellent and perfected circle of time, geometrically represented by 22, which gives a perfected value of the Earth in 360 multiplied by 22. Gives you the diameter of the Earth. A great secret. A wonderful secret. Shin is the 360 degree ionosphere. So Mem is the magnetosphere. Shin is the ionosphere. Aleph is the nucleus at the core of the Earth, in its central point. It is the ruler of the electromagnetic properties of this focalized point and center of consciousness that we refer to as Earth. Its division then becomes a value of Adam and Eve. And we have discussed that previously, that Adam is 144, the square of 12, which is a division of this circle of time. Now, these are very elementary presentations, but even these have never been revealed before in human history. What I am going to show you is that the Great Pyramid in Egypt was a specific understanding of the earth value of light and consciousness and time. The significance of this has far-reaching complications, and I will show you that each of the Great Pyramids, which their names are erroneous and only lead to further deception. The pyramids, of course, were no tombs, and I think we don't even need to discuss that. Those who will see this video will understand already. So I will show you a secret. The sideline base of the pyramid is approximately 764 feet. We can reach this value through an application by dividing unity by pi, elevating it by 12,000, 1200, 12. Take these numbers, do the mathematics that are involved in them, and I will show you in very specific and general form. We can take an ordinary calculator, and determine how the ancients built this pyramid and for what purpose. So we will take unity and we will divide it by pi, and we will get exactly what I told you. And what do we get? Unity divided by pi is 0.318. Now, many people will think that this is meaningless. It absolutely is not meaningless. Now we want to multiply it by 1200. We will get 381. Now understand that Aleph is 138. 3 letters can be moved in 6 different variations. So you can take Lamed, Aleph, Pe, and move them around 6 different ways. Okay. Aleph is a secret code. The first letter of the Hebrew alphabet signifies unity, the primal point. When it is divided by pi, it becomes 0.318. 0.318 is then elevated by 1200 to get 381.9. Now what is that? It is the half base side of the Great Pyramid in Egypt in feet. But what is more? This is just numbers, some people will say. Absolutely not. These numbers pertain to the actual division of time, to the actual division of the nucleus and core of the Earth, its electromagnetic properties. Now, when we multiply 381 times 2, which will give you the side of the Great Pyramid, you will get 763.9. What is the significance of this number, you might ask? I want you to do the research on your own, if you must. 764 miles is the exact radius of the Earth core. The implication of what I just said is profound, and the application of this knowledge was embedded in the Great Pyramid for a very practical purpose, none of which has been revealed to the public in any way whatsoever. However, there have been many authors who have drawn our attention to different ideas as far as the pyramids being some sort of machine, and they were correct. This pyramid is merely the surface of one of the grandest enterprises that ever took place on this planet. The Great Pyramid was the surface of a machine that tapped into the Earth core. Now, all of the measures corresponding from that single division will reveal all of the tarot attributions, all of the Hebrew letters, every one of the colors and notes attached to this cycle of time are conveyed in that simple division of 1 divided by pi. I will reveal each of these secrets. Now I would like to read some excerpts from my upcoming book. In the vast literature extant upon the pyramids, most of the measures are based upon arbitrary and highly antiquated surveys, which do not allow any substantial basis for further inquiry. That is why I present this chapter as a summary of my planetary pyramid hypothesis, which sets out to convince the reader that the 3 main pyramids in Giza were accurate measures of the 7 planets and cyclical time, focused and centered around the Earth core and the Moon. Also, I have included references which suggest that these pyramids, in effect, measure the precise value of light speed. Now, let me elaborate very briefly. The height of the Great Pyramid has been deliberately altered to suggest an erroneous computation. And there is a reason for that. If the right measures of the pyramid were known in its completed form when all the blocks and stones, casings were still present, it wouldn't take very much for an investigator to discover the great secrets of the pyramid. In effect, the pyramid reveals the highest form of physics and science that there is. And that is why so much secrecy surrounds it, so much intrigue. It is also why Napoleon investigated it in Egypt, and why the human measures that we possess today, the international standard measures, the British inch foot, the IS, these measures were developed and created and sprung out as a result of Napoleon's infiltration into Egypt in 1799. It was during that time that these investigators took measures of the Great Pyramid, took great care to measure the pyramid appropriately. But those measures were skewed. And the reason being is the measure of light speed, the significance of it is highly important. In effect, it is the division of time. And it relates directly to tarot and the Kabbalah. And that I show conclusively. There will be no questions anymore. After my book is published, and if I still remain here for the secrets that I have revealed, nothing will be the same. Those who investigate these subjects will understand why I speak so highly in this manner that I do. I am just an ordinary and average man. That is true. And I care for humanity. And I care for you. We all share each other's journey here in this life. But it is important that all of us understand who we really are and why we are here. Simply admonishing each other with affirmations of greatness, of love, compassion, words of wisdom. These things are great on the surface, but they lead us nowhere. Only knowledge can lead us into the temple and the Addendum. Only knowledge of truth will be able to present us before the door in which we must enter to return, to know who we really are, and to experience the Godhood within. That is the reason why I'm revealing these things. It is important we know these facts. Now, we understand and we must know that the cubit measure has been altered as well. The standard cubit used was a measure of the value of light, and that's why it was so deliberately skewed. That is why in many book references will be to numerous cubits. The elbow, cubitum in Latin, the value of that length, is not necessarily correct. However, it is close to being correct. Without the proper cubit measure, and we will never understand the Debirum. And the Debirum is the 10 words. And what are the 10 words? Debirum is the double value of the cubit of 20612. Double that value, and you have the Debirum. Now I will show what the Debirum, or the words, Debir, meaning word, mean. You take Debir, and what do you have? What do you have? What do you have? You have a basis of understanding and a development of psychological consciousness. In this present moment, in this present life, we hear the ringing and the sounds, the breeze. These are all the elements of this creation on this planet. We must know who we are. We must come to grasp these sacred truths. We must learn wisdom and knowledge. And we must sit before the feet of the masters who know these things. With humility and love in our hearts, we must present ourselves before the temple that is within. We must seek out greatness and Godship. The world is being deceived by great darkness. We are in a cloud of judgment. The earth is in a phasal transition of electromagnetic dynamism. This is not just some dry scientific procedure. This is an organic revolution in which all of us will be affected and are even now. Let us come together. Let us be one in this truth and this knowledge. Let us unite. The forces of darkness and chaos divide us. And how do they divide us? What are these electromagnetic waves that they're promoting, constantly propagandizing the earth with all of this disinformation? And people have lost their focus. Humanity is in a state of depravity, a deplorable condition, because we lack knowledge. Let us gain wisdom and knowledge and truth of these facts. Let us see them for what they really are. Let us grasp at the core of the tree of life. We must know these secrets of the pyramid, because these secrets pertain exactly to you. Each one of us is Jehovah. Each one of us represents the Godhood, the Godhead. But our recollection has been deliberately made so that we do not know anymore. Ask yourselves, who are you? Ask yourselves, why are you here? And what is your reasoning? What does your heart say in your mind? There is a wall. We sit behind a door, and 99% of the world doesn't even know that that door exists, but it has been put up there as a veil. We have been deliberately altered. The Godhead is blind. We have lost the sight and the vision. We have lost it. Where is it? Many of us don't even know that it exists. And so we think to speak about the pyramid measures that we are referring to something just archaeological, and that is not the truth. Let me read you. Extensive research on the pyramids has taken place over the course of the last 300 years, beginning in more modern times with Napoleon's expedition in 1799 and concluding with the Coal Survey in 1925. The accumulated evidence is overwhelmingly testifiable toward a unique scientific technological know-how. To date, no recent surveys have taken place for various political reasons, and no authors have utilized the proper measures to show the practical purpose behind the pyramid's construction. Unless otherwise stated, the cubit that we use in this discussion is the secret cubit measure of 20.612 inches. The length of the royal cubit, as it was called, has been shown to measure 0.5236 meter, or as approximated by Stachini in 1971, quote, in the neighborhood of 52.3 centimeters, quote. Petrie gave the value of 20.626 plus or minus 0.1 inches as the original value in 1887, and Kingsland adopted in 1932 20.612 inches, as well as Isaac Newton, Professor Gustave Safayerth, and numerous other investigators and researchers, which are too many to mention. So we know that the value of the cubit is known. And what I will show conclusively, in these measures, we have a measure of the value of the speed of light. And this reference has a direct connection to the height of the Great Pyramid. The height of the Great Pyramid is generally attributed to be roughly 480 to 481 feet. That is erroneous. The true height of the pyramid is 486 feet, without the capstone. Now the capstone was a superstructure that stood roughly 6 cubits above as a platform in a rectangular value, not a square, a secret. The capstone was approximately 10 feet tall. Adding that to 486 feet gives you 496 feet, which is Malkuth. And Malkuth is the secret value of the speed of light in seconds. It takes approximately 8 minutes, 16 seconds for light traveling from the sun to reach the earth and impact the atmosphere. 496 seconds. This value of the speed of light is inculcated in the Great Pyramid as the height. And this is why those who have investigated the Great Pyramid have referred to that capstone in many different ways. But most of them come back to the idea of gold. Taking Stachini's value of 52.3 centimeters, we can determine that the perimeter base of the pyramid equated to approximately 444 cubits, or 231 meters. It is my contention that the pyramid perimeter was meant to convey 1 divided by pi, elevated to a value based upon a sexagesimal division derived from the golden ratio. Thus, 444 cubits per side corresponds to a height of roughly 282.3 cubits, that is, 148 meters. It has been suggested that the original pyramid was comprised of 210 courses meant to convey the multiplication of the first 4 prime numbers, since 2 times 3 times 5 times 7 equals 210. But this is assuming that the Giza pyramid ended in a point. Some researchers have concluded that this was indeed the case, and that the point capped off and was surmounted by a 6-cubit superstructure or pyramidion. However, some researchers disagree. Pocan, among others, has suggested, in agreement with Diodorus Siculus, that the pyramid ended in an elevated oblong platform of about 6 cubits or 3 meters in height. If this is indeed the case, then we would need to consider the fact that this platform is not square, but rectangular. And what this would essentially imply architecturally. A pyramidion, as we understand it to have a square base, would certainly not fit into a rectangle. Tradition avers that whatever the device that was in place over the rectangular, truncated platform was removable. Hence was manufactured for a very specific purpose that would have certainly taken this fact into consideration. The pyramid angles for each of the four hypotenuses have been variously estimated by authors, but none of them have taken into consideration the intent of the original construction, while most certainly was, at least superficially, intended to accurately measure the Earth core and the various axis angles of the Earth, shifting electromagnetically. Most of the conclusions regarding the pyramid's practical function are obtuse and do not consider this premise. The angle typically accepted is 51.53 for 51.584 degrees of arc, as these may vary for the four electromagnetic cardinal directions. You see, the directions, the angles, let's look at it. 37, 90, 90, 37, 53. Those are the angles of the 3-4-5 triangle. What is that? Let's think about it for a moment. What is 37 times 3? Let's do the math. 37, just follow me here, times 3 is 111, which is Aleph. Each of these degrees signifies a secret code of knowledge. Think, and you shall discover. How does the Father and the Son unite? Think. The Father, the Son, the Mother. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Same premise. What is it? What are we dealing with? Think. Look at these angles. The Mother unites with the Father. The Son unites with the Father. The Father and the Son become one. What is the Son? And I'm referring to as a child. The Sun represents the ionosphere, the electrical current going around the Earth. And every one of the measures of the Great Pyramid that I will show conclusively will prove this without a shadow of a doubt. There will no longer be questions about the Great Pyramid, except to understand its practical engagement with the Earth. From here on out, the knowledge presented will subsequently release mankind from the bondage of these lies. I will read you a few more paragraphs. In the development of the cube, of the aeon, referred to in Revelation, we find in Revelation 7 and 14 the leadership role that Leo or Judah takes with respect to this self-same idea. The premise resides in the quaternary division and the messengers arising from the eastern quarter, where the Lamb, that is Aries, stands upon the Mount to Zion. And Mount to Zion is an elevation of Adam, 144. In chapter 21, there is a consummation by the creation of a new cube, where the great and high mountain was like unto a stone, most precious, with 12 gates, and that the 12 gates, 12 messengers, divided into a quaternary square by the four directions as a 4:3 ratio. The length, breadth, and height were Adam, 144, elevated by 12 times 12,000 in respect to 1 divided by pi multiplied by 12 equals 38.2, or 19.1 multiplied by 2, the wall being 144 cubits, according to the measure of man. Quote. That is Adam, or Aish, 144 minus 113. 144 to 113, this is a ratio. Seek it out. The Tekufath Shanah and the development of the lunar cycle. It is all embedded in these pyramids. I will show this. This would be elaborated in greater depth, but let the student take it previously related information and apply it to the narrative, and the Kabbalah will become evident. Now, in light of the geomagnetic properties of the Earth, one discovers that the only opening into the Great Pyramid is on the north face of the structure, which is, according to Petrie, quote, between the 18th and 20th courses, generally attributed to the 19th course. Actually, the platform of the entrance begins at the 16th course. The opening then leads into the descending passage, which is geodetically oriented to true north. In fact, deviating from true north by only 3 arc minutes, which is geodetically 343, suggesting to other investigators that this angle of descent actually marked the original orientation for the entire pyramid. But why would the pyramid builders be so concerned with such astronomical details of the Earth geoid? Now, what I am showing and revealing here is that their concern was practical. Their work was scientific, not philosophical, not religious or spiritual. These pyramids have nothing to do with any spiritual aspects. Later on, they became spiritualized, so to speak, by people who knew not the secrets. So these angles of the Great Pyramid are extremely significant. In fact, they measure and reveal the Kabbalah in great fact and certitude. So what we are looking at here, because me speaking these numbers is not going to reach people in the way that would be necessary to be convincing. A person would need to seriously sit down and look at them themselves to understand. Hearing me say this in this video, of course, is not going to convince the person or the listener of the great significance of these things. However, I will show in due time, and through my book and other media forums, that the Great Pyramids in fact were a representation of the Earth, Venus, and Mercury, and embodied and inculcated the secret cycle of the moon. And let me give you one example to show you that conclusively. The pyramid next to the Great Pyramid, and I refuse to use the names, I refer to them as the Earth Pyramid and the Venus Pyramid, because that's what they represented. The side baseline of the Venus Pyramid is approximately 710 feet. 710 is the elevation of the dove, or 71, which is what we use to develop the Tekufath Shanah. If you follow me on Twitter and other social media, I've discussed that. You can look at my tweets to gain that information. 355 days is the lunar cycle. 27.3 multiplied by 13. 28.5 multiplied by 12 will give you the Shanah, which is Shin Nun He 355. Multiplied by 2 is 710. Now the side of the other pyramid, the Mercury pyramid, next to the Venus pyramid, its side baseline is exactly half of the Venus pyramid, 355 feet to represent the Shanah. Now, in these simple secrets of these simple measures, I will reveal the true secrets of the cycles of time and the quantum Kabbalah. I am Frater.